Hello, and welcome to the TBI podcast, Those Bored Individuals.
Why, hello there, and welcome to the Halloween podcast in the Those Bored Individuals line of podcasts. Today I'll be joined by a ghost by the name of Emerald Soldier.
Huh?
And two mysterious cats. One you already know as Round Sharp.
Welcome one, welcome all.
And newcomer, I'd like you to give them a very heartfelt welcome. Please welcome Ali.
Hello.
Okay, enough of the Tim Burton act. Let's get into business.
I tried to do the best ghost voice, but it didn't work. But okay.
Really? Well, Halloween. It's here once again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See ya.
happy Halloween. Happy.
Yeah, because Dudley had... we decided to substitute Dudley for this one to bring in more guests.
Yes.
So
He has been abandoned.
he's not been abandoned.
I just
So
got
that's-
that word in my head, I'm sorry.
Anyway, so that's why Ali's with us for this one.
Yeah.
Welcome, Ellie.
Yep.
Yay.
So, Halloween, it's a season of tricks and treats. I'm sure me and Ryan have talked about our Halloween stories quite a few times already. But now, Ali, Michael, now it's time for your Halloween stories. So,
Yeah.
we've lived for quite a while currently. So, are there any particular Halloween stories that you'd like to bring up?
I do, but I had sort of mentioned probably in the previous podcast, but more obviously off season now. But as most of you know, I do my own paranormal investigations and
Yep,
everything.
you've become your own little Ghostbuster on your channel.
Yep. And so I do have obviously a few stories that of me trying to capture the paranormal and trying to find evidence if it's real or fake.
Mm-hmm.
So my first, well, it was my first ever graveyard video that I did for my YouTube channel. And there wasn't much really going on of what I was doing, but it started to get a bit chaotic. So what was going on, I kept on feeling like the good energy, like I keep thinking, oh, it's peaceful here and everything. But then I started to get this negative vibe around me, and it was like the good spirits was trying to warn me about the big bad spirit, like the demon almost.
Ooh.
So, it was actually captured on my camera. It was captured on footage. So I actually captured the demon on camera.
Yep. So if you're so we might actually have the picture up on the screen for those of you watching on
Yeah.
YouTube. So
Yeah, I will send you the screenshot of it, Dad. I mean, and dancer.
yeah, Dudley's not here.
I get mixed up. But yeah, I actually captured the demon. It was like almost, it was following me in the distance.
Jeez.
And I never noticed that in my point of view, but people in the comments mentioned, well, what is this figure in the distance? It looks like it's got arms and it's like moving about. It's like it's following you.
Ooh.
And then as soon as I said, I swear I feel karma, the demon apparition disappeared. It was no longer seen. And I was like, oh yeah. I felt all this negative energy around me. The moment the demon disappeared, I felt karma again.
Sheesh.
Because
Oh,
say I sensed it in the area and then I sensed it was gone again. But then the second time I went to another graveyard with still some edits. Oh,
spoiler
there
alert,
wasn't much.
just in case anyone
Yeah.
wants to see this.
Yeah, there wasn't much going on. Well, I haven't captured anything on camera that time, but I've got other evidence that I don't want to spoil, obviously.
Yep, so if you want to see any of that, subscribe to Emerald Soldier's channel.
Yeah, and obviously, I did feel, it felt like I felt the same negative energy from the other graveyard, and it's like it followed me to the second graveyard, and
Jeez.
the others, and the peaceful spirits were like, oh, we're not going to talk to you because you're bringing the negative energy to us.
Sheesh. Just bringing a demon stalker to every graveyard you visit.
Pretty much, yeah.
Ugh.
It makes more sense if you watch it, but I'll probably send a screenshot to Fresh Powder so you can see the apparition of the demon.
Yep. This'll definitely be interesting. So, Ali, are there any funny or notable horror or Halloween stories that you'd like to bring up?
Is it like from like actual experiences? Because there's a story my granddad used to tell us about when he was young. He saw, well, some sort of spirit or ghost when he was
Ooh.
younger. He said when he was young in his like childhood home, he went upstairs to get something and he just saw a man standing there staring out the window. And he got like creeped out and went downstairs to tell his dad and was like, Dad, there's someone at the window. And they both went up and there was no one there.
Ooh. Sheesh. That's...
Yeah, my family also has a big history on the paranormal as well, so.
Oh, really?
Yep.
So, I think that might be... I think everyone has at least one paranormal experience, and
Oh, yeah.
if you're lucky, it sticks with you for forever, basically.
Yeah, and if you obviously do what I do and you experience the paranormal, you start to believe it even more and more, and it forever sticks with you.
Yeah. So, Rowan, anything paranormal on your end?
See, really, because like very small things have happened that are easily explained away, but it wasn't like, oh I watched my cup move by itself or anything. The only thing that really comes to mind is one time in my dad's kitchen, me and my dad were talking, and in the corner of my eye, out my window, I saw something like ginger falling, like as though something had fallen off from the floor above us,
Sheesh.
past the window, and I looked out, but there was nothing there. I thought it was like maybe a cat or something, but there was nothing there because my grand's patio was like right below our window, so we would have seen if something had landed there.
Sheesh.
And it wasn't like I was just seeing anything because my dad saw it too, and we were just like, Dad, what was that, Brian? I don't know. I don't know what that was. It was too ginger to be a bird or something, so the
Sheesh.
closest thing I could think of was some cat, but it would have been obvious if it was a cat.
Yeah.
So that's just
That could
the
have...
only thing I can think of right now.
Yes, that if you dig into it, that sounds a lot tragic. Like it's the spirit of someone who fell off.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, because there's a flat above us that's directly connected to the roof, so...
Oh my god.
Lovely.
It was small, though, like, small enough to be, like, potentially cat-sized, but... Again, it would have been obvious
off the
if it was
baby.
a cat by the result.
Oh.
Well, as for me, I think I haven't really experienced anything paranormal, but I think the closest thing that I can definitely remember, one that I kind of consider paranormal, is that because of where I live, in certain areas it can get pretty dark, and so I often like watching the sky, like getting just beautiful shots, which I unfortunately can't capture on film, but
Yeah.
it's still a wonderful sight. And so when it comes to the supernatural, I want to believe that there's something more mystical and magical out there, but I still keep my eye to the sky and to everywhere else for anything. And so I was like looking at a particular set of stars, 3 stars, to see if I can find any distant movement, basically. And so I just stood still, focused, and out of the 3 stars, the one furthest to the left, which was absolutely stationary, slowly starts moving and moving to the left. And I was like, am I seeing this? And it just continues to go to the left and it just disappears. And so...
And you were moving with it.
So I'm sure some people might say that it was probably just some high altitude aircraft, but who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it might have been an alien craft. Who knows?
Yeah.
That reminds us of the time when we saw the entire like moon shaking, but like everyone was all like, there was like 4 people all like saying that they saw the moon was moving.
Sheesh. It's like, was it? I think that's probably like a mirage or something, but I think that's kind of impossible
Probably.
because I think mirages only happen like during the day. So, so yeah, there's that. You're listening to the TBI podcast. So, considering the world's current situation, Halloween is probably going to be a bit watered down again. Like last year, we all know how disastrous Halloween was that time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So quiet.
Yeah. Nobody was allowed to visit anyone, and worst of all, it was raining.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, not the best Halloween, but maybe someday things will go back to normal.
Yep, hopefully.
Hopefully.
But until then, there are still other ways you can celebrate Halloween, and one of them is by watching Halloween-themed movies and horror movies and just stuff that puts you into the spirit of things.
Oh, yeah.
Now, one thing I would like to bring up is I often like to watch a lot of the Scooby-Doo movies around Halloween.
I used to do that.
Yeah.
And one of them that was released recently was just genius because of the idea.
Yeah.
And that was Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh?
Wow. That's actually a crossover I never knew I needed.
I mean, it's so fitting. You've got 2 of the most cowardly fictional dogs in existence in the same movie. I mean, that's more fitting than the time that Paul Rudd, aka MCU's Ant-Man, did the voiceover for a documentary on tiny animals.
Oh.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That is genius,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to look that up later.
Yes.
Yeah, same here. I was not hearing about this, though.
Yeah. So what do I think of the movie? Oh, I thought it was pretty. I thought it was pretty funny. It gives you exactly what you expect. Scooby, Shaggy, and Courage are now all in the same scenes together, and they're all cowardly hiding from the monsters and such in this.
Yep.
I do think it has done pretty well for itself, especially considering that the voice of Muriel sadly died before this film's release. So it was nice to hear her voice as Muriel one last time.
Yeah.
In peace.
Yeah.
Anime.
So what else can I say about it? It makes a lot of references to Courage the Cowardly Dog, and in a way, it kind of acts as a finale to Courage's series as a whole, because when you think about it, not many of Courage the Cowardly Dog episodes had a happy ending, did they?
Yeah. Courage the Cowardly Dog was one of those very few, kids' TV shows that did not pull its punches.
Yep, almost all of them ended in bitter endings and oftentimes tragically sad endings.
Yeah.
God, remember the days when kids' cartoons were way more violent? Like, remember how violent the Powerpuff Girls could get?
Jeez.
Oh my god.
Ugh. Yeah, there was quite a lot of grim moments there as well.
Kids were just tougher in the 90s.
Yeah. We need more traumatizing content.
Yeah.
Bring the kitties!
Yeah. So, there's quite a few golden scenes in it. Like, you've got, I think in recent Scooby-Doo media, Velma now uses a smartphone to help piece together the clues and such, and there's this whole scene where her phone is plugged into Courage's computer, and they start flirting with each other while they're trying to sort things out, basically. And who's sending messages? In case any of you are watching this is our messages, not yours. So yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the movie actually does a bit of world building, because they basically said the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs was made of dark matter, and it landed in the middle of nowhere, and that explains why so much creepy stuff happens there, basically. So
yeah, checks out.
So yeah, that's all I'll say. If you want to check it out, if you're a fan of both, which I am, then this will definitely be an interesting watch for you this Halloween.
I'll probably try and watch that.
So
yeah, I'll have to pick that up.
Yeah. But something off topic, I guess, that I would like to bring up also. In case the thumbnail wasn't a clue enough already, this one is partly inspired by Tim Burton's style of work.
Hmm.
Tim Burton, one of the most recognizable filmmakers and visionary directors in the world.
There is. Style is unmistakable.
Yep. So I thought, what Tim Burton films or properties do you recognize the most?
Favorite Tim Burton film? I'd have to say Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Ooh.
Ooh, yeah, I know that one.
Yes, the modern
That's probably the
day,
only one I know.
the modern day or soon to be modern, previously modern day adaptation of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory book.
It's actually, unfortunately, one of the very few I've been able to see lately, because in the past I wasn't allowed to watch them for, well, obvious reasons. Like, back when I was way younger, and every time I kept trying to get around to it, something would prevent me, so...
Oh.
Well,
Like, one time my mum and dad actually, back when Blockbuster was still a thing, they rented The Corpse Bride, and
Ooh.
I didn't get to watch it even though I really wanted to.
oh,
I think I've only seen the modern one. I haven't seen the classic one.
Yeah.
yep. I've got quite a few Tim Burton movies in my collection. Of course, everyone will say that the most recognizable one is The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. I don't think I actually seen that properly though, but I probably should do a rewatch.
I've never seen The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh my god, fix that, you two.
I'm not the only one who hasn't seen anything.
So, yeah, those will definitely be on your watch list. One film that I'm also looking at right now, one that I think is a really good Tim Burton film, is Frankenweenie.
Oh, I have not heard of that.
Basically, it's the Frankenstein story, except this time it's about a young boy bringing his recently deceased dog back to life, Frankenstein style.
Oh, wait, have I seen it? It rings a bell. I swear I might have seen that, actually.
Yeah, you're probably seeing the advertisements for it because I remember the advertisements in the cinema really clearly.
Welcome to this brand new seminar.
I just imagine that.
Frankenweenie, I think, is a really, really, really good horror Halloween movie because it pays homage to the classic black and white monster movies of the past. Because, of course, you've got Frankenstein, but it also makes references to Dracula, the Invisible Man, the Mummy, the Gremlins, and even giant Japanese monster movies like Gamera and Godzilla.
Oh.
Because the whole point of the movie is the other kids in the neighborhood find out about the dog and they want to try and bring their pets back to life, and chaos ensues.
I don't know if I actually got that. I swear I seen it in my childhood.
So, yeah. Ali, what about you? Any Tim Burton films spring to mind?
Really weird one that, like, I don't think... But my mum had us watch that, like... It's Edward Scissorhands. It's not one I'd watch on Halloween. But it's just... The, like... It has, like, a weirdness to it that, like, I enjoy sometimes.
Yeah, I haven't
like,
seen it.
It doesn't make sense, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but it will be watched someday. So.
Yeah, I really need to get into Tim Burton myself because I've been wanting to see like The Corpse Bride, of course, and all the other classic ones, but I just haven't been able to get around to it.
I think there's quite.
When you asked this question, I was originally going to say Coraline, but then I actually looked up and realised Coraline is not a Tim Burton movie. So, like,
yeah. So yeah, I think there's quite a few Tim Burton films on Netflix currently. So.
Oh yeah.
Because Halloween.
I didn't have
obviously.
Netflix, so that's sad.
However, one other Tim Burton film that I do want to bring up, and one that I think is going to be a pretty late viewing for a lot of people, is Beetlejuice.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know if I recognize that name or not.
Basically, a couple tragically dies and they try to get used to haunting their own house when other people move in. And it's full of Tim Burton stop motion in a few places, but it's also filled with some pretty ghastly images.
Yeah.
I mean, in like the first 15 minutes or so, you've got the woman like ripping her face off just to scare these people. But because they're ghosts, they can't see it, so it's like, nah, what else is in here?
Yeah, I think I remember managing to sneak myself watching a few scenes of Beetlejuice with my dad before he was like, okay, it's late and your mom's going to kill me a few times. I'll let you watch this, so go to bed now.
So,
I do like how they managed to get like a perfect like balance of like being creepy, like but like and disturbing, but like not like actually like scary.
Yeah.
yeah.
No actual horror.
Yeah.
Well, most of the time anyway.
Yeah, half
Yeah,
the
for the
time.
most part.
Yeah, 50-50.
So yes.
Most either go like all out or like hold back. Well, it's like the Tim Burton ones that are all like they still have like a comedy to them. Like they still have a bit of
Yeah.
like wackiness, I guess is the word. So like there's like disturbing moments, but then there's still a bit of comedy, which is like not often seen in other movies.
Yeah.
I don't usually try and fuse the two genres together.
So yeah, Tim Burton's style is pretty easy to recognize because shapes are often twisted and curved, there are spirals everywhere, and everyone's eyes are beady and huge, basically.
Oh, God.
So that's how you know how to find them, so go out and have a look at them. You won't be disappointed. I'm Randy Newman, and you're listening to TBI. Well, it's that time again for the month's most ridiculous headlines.
Yeah.
Yay!
I can never do a ghost boy.
Okay, in this month's news, Shakira's purse was snatched and attacked during a walk in the park by a herd of wild boars.
Oh.
I thought you were going to say geese and say, yeah, that sounds about right. But then you said boars, and I'm like, pardon?
Just balls appear out of nowhere.
Yes, wild boars just walking about in suburbia.
Well,
Yeah.
of course, wild pigs in America can be a bit of a problem, so
Yeah.
yeah, this is just another one of those problems.
Yeah. You're gonna do
That's
more
another thing
domination.
Americans look for.
Ah, dear. But why would these pigs go for the purse, of all things?
Not the.
It's the start of the world domination.
The invasion
Perhaps
of
it was
the
the skin of one of their fallen brethren.
Oh, God!
Oh no!
One of us has to make the dark jokes.
Jesus.
Well, it
It
is
took us a
Halloween.
while as well.
Jeez. I may not be a woman, but if there's one thing you never do, it's never mess with a woman's purse.
But they'll mess you up.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
that's like kicking a guy in the nuts. You just don't do it.
And then do self-defense.
Anyway, on to from one unnerving headline to another. Here's one that's sure to make you uncomfortable. A
Yay,
woman
discomfort.
A woman marries a 37-year-old zombie doll she got when she was 13.
What?
So you married a doll that you got when you were 13.
Oh, God, that must stink.
No.
There's no way that doll isn't cursed.
Jesus.
Like, why would you be wanting to marry a doll? I
Ugh.
think that.
Wow.
Okay, I don't want to.
It takes
That's in
your,
my head.
no words for
That's
it.
in- No, just,
No.
no.
I mean, it must be possessed. I mean, it is a zombie.
Yeah, so why
makes
would you
sense.
want to marry
Yeah,
a
sure,
doll? There's more to life than a doll.
She must go
Sure,
nuts.
why not?
She must go nuts when she enters the toy store.
Oh no.
But maybe she has special attachments to that doll. Maybe she is possessed. I don't know.
Jeez.
Oh god.
Ah, jeez.
That's stuck in my head. Right.
Well,
I'm going to be thinking of this for months now.
jeez. Well,
I am no star.
that's what these headlines are meant to do.
Yeah, I'm getting used to it.
Life in distress.
Oh, and what do you know? The next headline's another weird relationship story.
Why is it always weird relationships?
And here it goes.
Ah,
A heartbroken woman claims she's having an affair with a chimpanzee, so the zoo has banned her.
what?
What?
Like, so it's like a normal customer going into the zoo.
just imagine her up against the glass, crying her eyes out, like, "Oh, he whispers the sweetest things to me." Oh,
I
God.
think people were okay. Like, first it was a dog, then it was a monkey.
Oh, God.
I think I had it with humanity.
So
I think I'm hoping to use the theory of evolution as a defense on why that is not, in fact. Can I say that word in this child-friendly bestiality?
we only add the age warning if it crosses the line anyway, so far it's been kid friendly, but that might change in the last 10 minutes. Who knows?
Just quiet and just put silent over that.
So yeah. So how much is one trip to a zoo? Like £8, £10 per person or something?
It's quite
It's
expensive.
in Homer, where I guess.
Sheesh, how often was she
know.
visiting? Like every day?
Maybe the person married to a doll and the woman with the chimpanzee are having a competition.
Oh god. Oh.
Imagine them saying, "Oh yeah, I was married to a monkey, and now he has an affair on me. What do I do?"
Jesus. So, yeah, in an effort to stop her from interfering, the zoo has now banned her. And, yeah, now she's heartbroken about it.
Imagine getting confused with another monkey.
Jeez. I mean, she looks like a Karen, this woman. I don't know what else to say. It's just... What? Well... Don't worry.
Now my head hurts.
I'm sure there are plenty of animals in the world for you to fall in love with, so...
How about like a human?
Please do not encourage this, Dan.
Nah, don't fall in love with animals. Fall in love
The
with
TBI podcast does
species.
not condone words that cannot be said. Don't do it. Please.
Yeah.
This is all jokes.
Well, I'm just trying to say, there's always plenty of fish in the sea, but the sea's also filled with plastic.
No.
Fair point.
Okay.
What else? Oh, this isn't really a headline, more of a funny observation. So, you know how in the past few months or so there's been a bit of an oil shortage in the UK?
Yeah.
I was aware.
Yeah, all because some people were too scared to drive a giant 10-wheeler.
And also they were panicked. And they were panic. Oil.
Panic buying.
thing. Panic buying before oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We didn't actually have any up in my pot. Where like we couldn't. We were like our area was actually like out. Like we couldn't actually get any. We had to like travel elsewhere.
Jeez.
Oh.
They were actually closing them. The petrol stations.
Yikes.
Oh.
Isn't it weird how during lockdown it's always like the motor and car dealerships that are always the first to go? So anyway, just a bit of an observation. There was this guy reporting on the shortage outside of a petrol station, and guess what this guy's name was?
What was it?
Alan.
His name was Phil McCann.
Ah.
We love it.
Phil McCann.
Oh.
You're encouraging this!
I love it. I love everything about it.
Yes.
Oh, God. Like, why couldn't they hire Staw Portering? Why couldn't they have that guy filming the news? Like, stop panic buying or whatever. Anyway.
I know.
And now for the last headline that I have, and again, it's not really much of a headline, it's more just of a funny observation, so... And it says, police are still on the lookout for the genius/idiot who painted a tunnel under a bridge.
The wily coyote man.
Well,
Doing graffiti.
well, it's funny you should say that. I'm sending an image in the chat. Take a look at what this thing looks like.
Oh.
They even put Roadrunner at the side of it.
It was a warning.
Meep meep.
Oh. I wasn't.
I'd hate to be anyone who actually fell for it.
Jeez.
Well, there's a total car, so.
Oh, God. Because as we all know, if you paint a tunnel onto a wall, Roadrunner runs straight through it, but nothing else.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, dear. So, yeah. This tunnel bridge has claimed a few people, so... but it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I just mean claimed a few cars, not actual dead people, so...
Oh. I was expecting much worse.
Sorry about that.
Disclaimer.
So, yeah. Scary. Halloween. Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
Anyways.
So yeah, those were the month's headlines. You're listening to the TBI podcast. Well, Spider-Man is going to be in for quite a tough time following December. Yep, because I've wanted to talk about this for a while, and now we have our chance. Spider-Man No Way Home is going to be chaotic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen the trailer.
Now, everyone has seen the trailer, and quite frankly, I'm surprised that one laser collection meme hasn't resurfaced in wake of the trailers. Oh my god, it's Alfred Molina! Dr. Octopus.
Oh, that's a blast from the past and a half.
There's so many memes on
Yes, Alfred Molina is Dr. Octopus once again.
it. Yeah.
Oh, this... Yeah, and this is very well just the start.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Because Green Goblin could be returning, Electro from the Amazing Spider-Verse films could be returning.
I think the Green Goblin is definitely confirmed in the film.
So, who else do...
About Electro.
Now, the biggest question on everyone's minds is, will Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield return to team up with Tom Holland?
Oh, I hope so.
Please, yes.
So...
Don't be so disappointed if they don't appear.
But
you never know.
Yeah, well, I mean, Doctor Strange is going to be dealing with quite a few things. I mean...
Oh, yeah.
The chaos that was brought up with What If.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Wanda, aka Scarlet Witch, is on a grey thin line. And, it's going to be chaotic, but we will enjoy every minute of it.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
The hype is really real.
So who else do you think could be entering the MCU after this moment?
What, from the classics?
I mean, just from anything, like...
Oh, anything, okay. Trying to think.
I mean,
Uh,
do you think Venom has a chance?
Venom, possibly? I mean,
Like Venom
isn't
and
it
Carnage from the new...
on the original Venom from the original Spider-Man?
Well, I mean, both versions are pretty interesting, but having a Venom in the MCU would still be amazing.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much the same characters, both are very different.
I mean, will there be a clue to this in Venom vs. Carnage? Who knows?
Maybe, unless they just bring in like another character who represents Venom, like another personality.
So yeah, this is still quite an amazing movie, which I'm hoping to bring quite a few friends along for a cinema screening. Rowan, you're invited. So yes, that's going to be quite a great Christmas gift, just seeing this on the big screen.
The thing I'm thinking is for the if Venom comes in, it depends, because if they do bring in this Amazing Spider-Man actor,
Yep.
like the characters from that, then it would be
Yeah.
the Venom from that, and
Ah.
it would either have to be like if that's in, then I don't think it'd be the new Venom because
No.
obviously it would be from. I think they'd have to pick and choose one of the two.
Hmm.
They can't have both.
Yeah.
So they'd have to pick it from. It probably makes sense if it's from the same universe.
Yes.
I do have a feeling it'll be the original Venom.
Yes.
Unless he like changes into the new one or something, I don't know.
Well,
Hmm.
it'll likely be someone's cup of tea.
Yay.
One story that I would like to bring up just to sort of round this podcast off.
Okay.
Now I've brought this up to you, I think a few weeks ago, how my dog Oscar recently suffered a seizure and was taken to the vet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, he's fine now, and we're
Oh, thank goodness.
he's fine now. We're more vigilant on it. However, it did lead to some slight confusion.
Oh.
Now, I kind of kept this under the radar as well, but my dad, for the past few months, recently had surgery on his shoulder to fix his replacement shoulder or whatever. And so my mum had two of our neighbours over for a post-lockdown chat, basically.
Yeah.
And so they arrived with, sympathy cards like get well soon and such for my dad. And so the neighbors were of course asking questions about my dad, how did the surgery go and such. And he was like, yeah, it was fine. Now, when my mum tries to explain a story, she never really has a beginning, middle, and end of the story. She just sort of brings up different points of the story just so she can build around it. And so so they talk for quite a bit, like how was your treatment in the hospital and such. And so eventually one of the neighbors asks, so Fresh Powder's dad, so I heard that, what's the muscle relaxant like? And my dad was like,
Sorry.
what do you mean muscle relaxant? Well, it's just that we heard that you had a seizure, and we thought you had it. And so my mum was mixing up stories.
Oh.
They thought my dad had the seizure.
Oh.
So so it was like, you do realise that muscle relaxant is a little injector thing that you insert up Oscar's bum. They thought my dad had to get that.
Oh, and they were
You don't
asking about
purpose.
that.
Jeez. So they thought my dad got they thought my dad had the seizure, and they thought my dog needed shoulder surgery.
Oh no.
Wouldn't
Fresh
you
Powder's
think that?
dad. How was the probing?
Well, what do you mean probing? Yeah. So
Was that purpose, like, or was that a mistake?
no, it was because my mum, like I said, my mum brings up key points in the story, but she never really has a beginning, middle, and end, so she just brings up, oh, my husband recently went through this surgery, and so how was he like after the incident? Oh, well, you see, we took him down to the vet on Sunday, and they gave us some medication and a little prober muscle relaxant thing. The conversation went something like that, and it was, oh my god, my dad was in hysterics when he told me.
He does have a good sense of humor, your dad.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a little sugarcoating, I guess, on a bit of a scary event.
Well, sort of.
But still, I guess that sums up Halloween in a nutshell.
Yeah, in a way.
So, I think we're almost out of time for this podcast. Does anyone want to bring anything up before we sign off?
No, I don't have anything.
Nothing of mine.
Well, that brings us to a close. Ali, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
Yep.
Nice to have you on the seat.
Yep, we'd be happy to have you here again at some point.
Hopefully.
So yes, may your treats be delightful and your tricks mischievous. And
Yeah.
be sure to stay safe. Happy Halloween.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm out of breath.